on the board. And it looked as though it came off the middle of the bat, but it just seemed to me for a moment that Wright was off balance when he played the stroke.
Yes, I think he might have got a bit of a top edge on it, because he wasn't really hooking it up. I.T. Botham, amidst enormous applause, is taking over from the pavilion end.
No question mark against Ian Botham's batting, whilst he's been away from the test scene. He hasn't done all that much with the ball, but he's such a strong fellow. Has such ability that he's able to do anything at all. And a fairy tale stuff. Bruce Edgar is the man to provide the scenario. Graham Gooch, the man at slip.
Well, I've never seen anything like it in my life. That is quite fantastic. Oh dear. No wonder he's got a big smile on his face. It wasn't that bad a delivery for the first one. He hit it in just short of a length. A little bit of bounce there, and really Bruce Edgar steering it to Graham Gooch, who popped it up. The second one was deliberate, but I don't think he could believe it himself.
Jeff Crowe comes out now to face Botham, who's just joined Dennis Lilly on top of the wicket takers of all time in Test cricket, 355 each. And he may only be one ball away from 356. Well, not quite one ball, but not very far off it.
Another very good delivery, this. Just leaving Jeff Crowe off the wicket, a little edge, and not quite carrying to third slip.
Interesting first over for those gentlemen, the selectors. Welcome back for this match. First over for all of us. It's 21 for 1. It'll be a word from Tom Graveney. Then it'll be Tony Lewis, and I'm just going to catch up on this week's edition of Boys Own Annual.
Well, what a remarkable start for that man.
All along the ground. Beautifully played.
Well, the bouncer was very well pitched, just outside that off stump, just getting about head height. But Jeff Crowe in good position. But Ian Botham will relish this. Now it's a contest.
Beautifully bowled, right up to the bat. Just the suggestion of in-swing, and Ian Botham has become the greatest wicket taker of all time. He beats Dennis Lilly. And not only jubilation here at the Oval, but I'm sure ripples all around the world as Botham takes his 356th Test wicket, and Jeff Crowe is the victim.
Well, it was the good old 1-2 there, the bouncer and then the threat of the bouncer, but instead the well pitched up in the swinger. The front foot has not gone forward from Jeff Crowe. Bat came down too late. So Ian Botham, the top Test wicket taker of all time, 356 wickets. That's 26 times he's taken 5 wickets in innings. He looks as though he might get to 27 if he goes on like this.
Just one more look at Jeff Crow, a man very much informed, deceived by Botham. Pad first.
Now this is the ball that Ian Botham hasn't been able to bowl for a while. This has definitely swung and nipped back. And John Wright just getting the bat there in time. The big shout was because Ian Botham thought that it got to the pad before it got to the bat. So he's bowling fine fettle here.
Not much bounce, but it was the one that went straight on, and it's always the combination of punches that really gets the wicket.
And he went very close to the stumps to deliver this one, and that's how he got John Wright playing at it. This is as good a spell of Botham bowling as you'd want to see.
Alan Lamb has been in marvellous form with Northants since he was left out of the England side. Often does a man a bit of good to get away from it and regain the appetite, I think it is, to score runs again, big innings. Well, that was a marvellous sequence of play. Lovely late-in swinger, beautifully played by Martin Crowe, and superbly stopped by Alan Lamb. Beautifully bowled again. Martin Crowe drawn into the drive, but then finding the ball swinging and dipping very late.
Yes, could so easily have got a little inside edge of the corner of the bat into the stumps here. In swinging Yorker.
Oops, Wright is down. Well, John Wright would have had himself only to blame. He didn't want the run, he didn't want to face, didn't want to go. There was a long run there, probably, if they'd set off, and then found himself on that very green patch between those two mown strips.
There's no addition to the score when the players came in for lunch. 35 for 2 at that point, with John Wright battling very, very hard for his 24. No doubt Martin Crowe was with him on one, but what a tremendous performance by Ian Botham here in his comeback to Test match cricket. Dilly had none for 16, Small none for 8, bowled very well this morning. Botham 2 for 11 in 6 overs and 1 maiden. And what a marvellous thing for him, what a marvellous thing for the spectators who'd paid their money at the gate, and for television watchers as well, to see, first of all, Botham equal Lily's record and then go past it to 356. A tremendous performance from him. We pick up play now after lunch. It's the 4th over, 14 runs have been added. Graham Dilly is the bowler, Martin Crowe is taking straight. Didn't quite get that. Does get the 2 runs. Crowe's going to look for a third on Gower's arm, but it won't have gone far enough. 50 up for New Zealand. Early dramas and traumas for them, with Botham ripping through, taking the wickets of Edgar and Jeff Crowe. One caught it slip, the other OBW. Very well bowled, and he's gone. That's the advantage of keeping the ball up. Beaten on the forward stroke. And it's 59 for 3, and England are doing very well.
Yes, a tremendous breakthrough this. Martin Crowe whipping that through mid-on. See how the foot's gone across. He's hitting it wide of mid-on, and that would have hit middle and leg without any doubt at all. Middle stump.
Stirring of excitement out there in the field. Gatting and his men will recognise now that they're in with a real chance. Coney to take strike. Dilly, the bowler.
Now that's the sign, Tom, of a man in form, when just a little push is so well timed. The ball, even on a big field like this one at the Oval, goes to form.
Yes, he didn't really get his foot to the pitch of the ball. He just swung the bat and it whistled wide of mid-on. Beautifully timed.
Oh, beautiful fielding, and again the hesitation between New Zealand batsmen. We've seen it right through this tour. They've completely lost confidence in running between the wickets.
Yes, and I'm afraid the captain's at fault. He is one of the worst runners I've seen in this first-class game. Gets himself in an awful tangle, but at least gets himself in the way of the ball.
Oh, lovely shot. Just take a look at the outfield there. It's a real August outfield here at the Oval. There's some bare patches, and the ball skids across that when it's well hit. Phil Edmonds really never made a serious chase. Well, the cheer you hear is for the return of Ian Botham to the England attack. 2 wickets this morning on his comeback test match, and a new hairdo, big day. Oh, bad fielding. Strange lapse by one so accomplished.
Yes, it was a good stroke. Beautifully hit on the up. And you can see David Garron amongst that bit of rough there. The old wickets, and possibly an awkward bounce for him.
Oh, got away with it. Oh, he'd bowled so well for it. He planned it.
Yes, it's a very high-class piece of bowling, this. He's decided to bang it in, and Coney really doesn't know where he is. Lobs up just short. Just short of Edmonds running in from square cover.
Gladstone Small, the bowler. Wallop, and that's high in the sky, and that's a marvellous shot by Jeremy Coney. What extraordinary shot. He's come in, he's given them the full range, and that went over long off for 6.
Well, Coney must have taken the view that they're getting bogged down. They've lost 3 wickets, Ian Botham coming back on, that they're in New Zealand, who are a good side, are in danger of sort of going down a little tamely, and he's decided to counter-attack.
Thick edge brings the 100 up for New Zealand. And 3 runs to John Witt. 100 comes up in 233 balls. The second 50 coming up in 85 balls. And 3 wickets down.
One of the best shots I've seen here today. It was just a little short arm jab.
Yeah, Coney's sort of taken a view that Ian Botham with the old ball isn't fast enough to worry him, and he's going for these shots to anything short. Well, that's always well, not a red rag to a bull, but it's going to be a competition now between these two.
To 2 slips and a gully. The gully very deep and very square. In fact, Phil Edmonds is almost at point. Would still call it a catching position. It's there for the fierce slash at the short one outside off stump. Embury is at orthodox point, but quite deep. And he's gone. Whatever the competition might be once Botham gets on, he generally finishes up to pick up, it might be Hilditch from Australia, or it might be Coney from New Zealand, with what on the surface looks to be a long hop. Coney's gone, looked as though he gloved it, and it's 106 for 4.
Well, this must have been that much quicker. Well, strange enough, I don't think that was the problem. I thought that he'd got it onto him too quick and had beaten him, but almost the reverse. I think Coney had played the stroke, the bat had gone past, and then the ball came along and just lobbed up off his gloves.
Very much the glove, and as Ted Dexter points out, it was because he'd got through the stroke. Gooch taking his second catch. He took the first one to remove Edgar from the very first ball Botham bowled this morning. He has 3 of the 4 wickets to go now. Another real opportunity to take 5 in an innings for England.
Of course, his strike rate is always impressive with so many 5-wicket hauls, but 3 for 30 in 9 is just what England have been missing for most of this season. As he comes in pretty fresh, he hasn't done a lot of bowling this year. He's certainly got plenty of energy.
357 wickets, just a reminder that he's gone past Dennis Lillee today. Lillee, formerly the highest wicket taker in the world, now overtaken by Ian Botham. 85 test matches, 357 wickets, and thousands of runs as well. There. Nothing really wrong there with Graham Gooch's throw, even though he has that arm quite heavily bandaged. Gladstone Small, 12 overs, 4 maidens, done for 25. It's to be John Embury to take his place now at the Vauxhall end. 4 men around the bat. It could be out. Should have been out.
And Gray seemed to just get drawn into that shot. Didn't seem to wake up until the last minute that he was going to give it a crack. This was the first ball of a spell, you realise. He suddenly let fly at it, and it's taken Edmonds completely by surprise. Thought he was catching it, but it never really went into the palms of his hands at all.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Good back heel there by Graham Gooch, saving a single. But a beautiful off drive here from Gray. Perfectly executed.
That's a very good shot, and that's also a very good 50 by John Wright. He's been in no hurry, and that's quite right. Essential to New Zealand that they occupy the crease and bat as long as they like, one up in the series.
Beautiful on drive this. Well flighted right to the pitch of the ball. Firm strike, straight.
Yes. Just pushed through a bit quicker. So Embury to Gray.
Dickie Bird just having a word with David Shepherd about John Embury running on the wicket, and this is a definite warning. If he does it again, he could be stopped from bowling in the innings.
That's a very good start by Gladstone Small. Not clean, but he did very well to get down there.
Certainly saved 2 runs here. Good shot by John Wright. That's Small diving there, but the ball getting away from him.
After that, 4 more runs were added to take the total up to 142 for 4. Another over was bowled. Then I'm afraid the players came off for rain in light that was very, very gloomy indeed. John Wright, a fine innings there from him. A staunch left-hander was 63 not out at the close. Jeremy Coney batted well for his 38. He won't like the stroke he was out to, and I don't know that too many of the New Zealanders would, but he did play very well whilst he was out there. And Gray, 15 not out, once again showing his courage. 142 for 4, Dilly 1 for 41, Small none for 25, Embury none for 26, and Edmonds none for 14. And Ian Botham, 11 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 36.
Here this morning, bowled 6 overs for 26 runs, found the edge of the bat on one occasion. Was short of a slip. He only had 2 slips, and he's got 2 slips again at the moment. And he's bowling first ball. Oh, what a return. Look at Botham, absolutely delighted. His first wicket in Test match cricket, and what a scalp to get. This is the way it happened. And he's got a chance this time, and he's gone this time. So what a great over this for Botham. Finally gets rid of Gavaskar, and he knows what it's all about. So do all his colleagues. There's his 100th wicket in Test match cricket. He's got rid of it by getting out Gavaskar. 99 for 2, Gavaskar out for 59. And I think the big crowd here at Lord's fully aware of the situation. It was a fine catch in the end, brilliantly taken, low down on his left by Brearley. And all the England boys are exceedingly happy about it.
It's in the air, Gadding's under it. Marsh, the batsman, and he's out. Gadding has caught it, a brilliant catch off Botham, who thoroughly deserved the wicket. And Marsh has gone for a dashing 52. And that is Ian Botham's 200th Test match wicket. His 200th wicket in his 41st Test, beating Alec Betts' record for England, which established 200 wickets in 44 Tests.
And he's gone, yes, up goes the finger, and Duzin is out. A nice little sloppy catch there to slip, no problem at all. And 3 wickets now for Botham. The applause ringing around the ground now for Ian Botham, because that was his 300th Test match wicket. So what a performance, 4,000 runs and 300 wickets now.
Beautifully bowled, right up to the net. Just the suggestion of in-swing, and Ian Botham has become the greatest wicket-taker of all time. He beats Dennis Lillee, and not only jubilation here at the Oval, but I'm sure ripples all around the world as Botham takes his 356th Test wicket, and Jeff Crowe is the victim.
Triumphant Ian Botham, and we will now put up a little list for the 33rd